How's it, everyone? Today I'm here with my Game of Thrones Season 6 Episode 1 review. Of course, this episode aired tonight, titled The Red Woman. Of course, this episode has probably been the most anticipated Game of Thrones episode to date because this was the first time in the history of the series that no one, not even people that read the books, knew it was going to go on because this is the first season that surpassed the books. So this was just a big, question mark in terms of what was going to happen, especially considering all the cliffhangers we had at the end of season 5. So season 6 was a lot of mystery and a lot of answers need to be, or a lot of questions need to be answered going into the season. And I thought for the opener for the season, the episode was a little short. I think the episode was just about 50 minutes long, which every episode, differs between like 50 to like 58 minutes usually. So I did expect a little bit of a longer episode for the first episode of the season, but I thought they did a great job. I thought they showed the perfect amount of stuff to get you hyped for the season. They didn't show too much or give away too much, but they didn't show you or give away too less. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed because you didn't get as much as you thought, but I thought it was just a perfect amount of dose. There's a perfect dose that you needed to fulfill your opener for the season because, like I said, you didn't give away too much or you didn't give away too less. I thought it was perfect build for pretty much every single character and every storyline. I thought it progressed nicely considering it was, pretty much following up what happened in season 5 finale. You have to see it transfer into season 6 opener and see it progress from there. So you pretty much everything that happened in this episode, you're going to see it progress throughout the season. So I'm really excited for that. So I thought they did a good job with the opener. I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was definitely a great way to kick off the series, especially with or the season, not the series, especially with the big thing that happened at the end of episode 2. So yeah, this review will have spoilers in it, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, I recommend you not watching this review. But yeah, the episode started off with, of course, panning over Castle Black, in which you see Jon Snow's body still in the snow, just laying there all dead, and not moving at all. Then, Ghost was making a big noise, because Ghost, can sense what's going on. So Ghost knew something was wrong with Jon, making a big commotion, which led Davos coming outside, pretty much wondering what the hell's going on. Davos sees Jon Snow's body in the distance, runs over there, sees that he's pretty much dead. Jon Snow's dead. And he's trying like, oh shit, what do I do? Which would lead to Ed and some of the other Night Watch members coming out and discovering Jon Snow's body as well. And, in the moment, they pretty much pick up Jon Snow's body, brings him to a room, clears the table, throws his body on there, and they all pretty much just discuss, like, what happened, why is Jon dead, who did this, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much just, discussing, the impact that Jon's death is going to have, that, he was their friend, and what they're going to do next, which led to Melisandre coming in the room. She entered, seeing Jon's body, kind of distraught her, kind of, she's seeing the body, looking at the body, going like, whoa, and pretty much, telling Davos, like, I saw Jon fighting at Winterfell in the flames, and Davos pretty much told her, like, he's dead, so whatever he saw ain't going to happen, or isn't going to happen, or wasn't going to happen, so that was the first 20 minutes or so. They ended up spending it on Jon Snow and going over what happened after his death. Then you have Alliser Thorne pretty much admit to killing Jon Snow, pretty much saying that Jon had a good heart, but pretty much he felt for the best in the Night's Watch was for the best that Jon was not around, or at least the Lord Commander, or even alive for that matter of fact. So Alliser Thorne, Bowen Marsh, all of them pretty much admit to killing Jon Snow, and Ollie's pretty much like shaking his head, yeah, while there's a big commotion going on in the room with people yelling that, oh, you're a murderer, you killed our Lord Commander, just a bunch of commotion going on in the room there. And then you have, Ed planning his revenge on Alliser Thorne, pretty much saying, you know what, if I'm going to die tonight, but if I'm going to die tonight, so is Alliser Thorne. Davos convinces him that's the best thing to do, especially with the numbers they have, because there's only it was like Davos and like maybe Ed and like 3 or 4 of the guys, and Ghost. So their numbers games weren't working out for them, but they were able to convince Ed to go out to find the wildlings. So Ed appears like he's going out to find the wildlings to tell him what happened. So we're gonna see how that leads. You have Ramsay, who's mourning over the death of Miranda. Pretty much, even though he's distraught, he pretty much tries to play it off like he doesn't really care. And then you have him and Roose Bolton discussing their victory over Stannis Baratheon, which will now lead to a bigger issue, which is going to be pretty much the Lannisters. They're pretty much saying the Lannisters are probably going to attack them soon, which they need to rally the entire North in order to fight the Lannisters, which they can't fight the Lannisters because they need the entire North, and Sansa Stark is no longer there. Sansa is the key to the North at this point, so Sansa's not there. That's a big issue. But Ramsay's men are out in the hunt for her and Theon, so you see Sansa and Theon on the run. They run through a river, trying to avoid the Bolton men, but they end up getting captured, or at least they're cornered and they're pretty much about to get captured. And then all of a sudden, Brienne and Podrick come out of nowhere on their horses, slaughtering the Bolton men. Podrick showing some skills that I never thought he had, but he was actually putting up on his, holding up for his own. So pretty much him and Brienne pretty much slaughter the Bolton men. So Brienne ends up saving Theon and Sansa, which was a great moment and a great scene. Honestly, when I was watching that scene, I was getting goosebumps everywhere. I was really, really excited and very happy for that. It was definitely a really feel-good moment scene for all of them. It was a great moment, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great scene, and that was probably my favorite scene in the episode. So kudos to all of them for that scene. Brienne pretty much lays the offer once again for Sansa to serve her. This time Sansa actually accepts it, so Sansa's going to Brienne's gonna pretty much protect Sansa now. So Sansa should rest easy now, knowing that Brienne's protecting her, because Brienne's probably one of the best people you want in the series protecting you. So really excited to see where that goes with them, and if Theon sticks around with them too. So that's gonna be fun to watch. You had Jaime who landed in King's Landing with Myrcella's body, and Cersei was kind of just heartbroken and distraught by it too. Even though Cersei is one of the worst characters on the show in terms of character-wise, personality-wise, her being a bitch, you never want to see someone suffer like that. So it's kind of, even though Cersei had it coming to her, it's just like the fact is Myrcella too. You felt for her, and you felt like Myrcella didn't deserve that, and Cersei didn't deserve to see her kids die like that. Or at least Myrcella die like that. So that was pretty emotional scene. You had the Sand family who ends up taking over Dorne. They killed Doran, who was pretty much the king of Dorne. They end up killing him when he finds out the death of Myrcella, and then they end up killing his son Tristan shortly after him. So the Sand family's pretty much taking over Dorne to plot the revenge of the Lannisters, it seems like. Tyrion and Varys are pretty much, going around Meereen, discussing the plans for Meereen and whatnot, until all of a sudden the Sons of Harpy strike. They end up burning all the ships in the harbor. So if anyone wants to leave Meereen, you ain't going anywhere. So that happens. And then you had Daario and Jorah on the search for Dany. They end up getting bonding a little bit on the way there. And then finding her ring that she wore when she threw on the grass before she got captured by the Dothraki after the season 5 finale. So then finding that, so they're getting a little bit closer to her. And speaking of Daenerys, she is at the Dothraki camp. She does meet the new Khal, who is Khal Moro, pretty much telling her, "I'm going to lay with you tonight, no matter what the hell you say." Daenerys shocks everyone by speaking the Dothraki. Pretty much telling the hard truth. They laugh at her until she mentions that she is Khal Drogo's former wife, and if you're Khal's widow, that means you cannot be touched. So the new Khal Moro, pretty much backs away. He apologizes for the disrespect and says that anyone who's a former widow, or anyone's a widow of a former Khal, cannot be touched. But the thing is, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck here now for the rest of your life to live the end of your days in the Dothraki camp. So pretty much, even though Daenerys is pretty much good being there because no one's gonna screw with her, she's kind of screwed because she has to stay there. So even though it's good for her for the time being, it's going to end up being bad for her towards the end. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, especially with Daario and Jorah on the hunt for her, the hunt for her. So that should be fun. You see Arya, she's blinded, so she's pretty much living life there, trying to improve her hearing and pretty much her other senses. That doesn't include sight, trying to improve those. So Arya's gonna, you're gonna see how that progresses with her. Alistair Thorne gives Davos and the other men in the Night's Watch that are protecting Jon's body till nightfall to give up his body, or they're pretty much gonna be slayed, or shed blood because there's gonna be a fight for his body. So you have that now. So that'll lead in the next episode, and then towards the end of the episode, the big thing with Melisandre looking in the mirror, getting naked, which Melisandre getting naked, heck yeah. And then that quickly turned to a fuck no right away, because she looks in the mirror and then all of a sudden you see white hair in the mirror. You're like, what? Because she took off her necklace, the ruby necklace, took it off, completely naked. And then you see in the mirror and you see someone blonde, and all of a sudden you see an old woman. And I'm just like, no. Disgusting sight. And I'm not trying to sit here and offend any old women. I'm just saying from a 20-year-old standpoint, you don't want to see someone that age naked. So the fact that you saw the transformation of Melisandre being the hot woman that she was, into this old woman that's completely naked, hop in the bed, it was just not a great sight to see. But it was Melisandre is over 100 years old, if you don't know that. In the series, it's been known that she's really, really old. And I guess it was a necklace that was one of her powers that kept her young. So the fact that she's showing her true self now is a sign that Melisandre is giving up, that she has no hope. You know, Stannis Baratheon, she had all the hope in the world for him. He's dead. Jon Snow was the next hope she had. He's dead. So, you know, at this point, Melisandre is pretty much giving up hope and just not caring anymore. So that's why she ended up showing her true self. I thought that was a big step for her character. And that was it for the episode. Like I said, great episode. Great way to kick off the series. Like I said, I know some people were upset about it because there wasn't enough, or there's too little, which I don't know how there's too little. I thought it was a perfect amount of teasing just to pretty much show you, you know, what to look forward to the rest of the season. I know the Jon Snow question is still out there. Is he really dead, or will he come back? I think if Jon Snow were to come back, they're going to stretch it out. I knew there's no way he's come back in the first episode. Maybe episode 3 or 4, if he's going to come back, that's why I think he'll come back. I don't think he'll be within the first couple episodes. I think he'll definitely be within episode 3 or 4 that you'll see Jon Snow finally come back, if he does, which I'm really hoping he does, because why else would they be preserving his body if nothing big was to come of it? And Melisandre giving up, what if she just, you know, sacrifices herself in the good of him? I don't know. I mean, they could do something like that, but there's a lot of questions. That's what brings part of the excitement to the series, because they have all these questions that need to be answered, and that's why you're going to watch the series to see those questions be answered. So I'm really excited for Season 6. It should be a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to review every episode. Probably not. I'll probably review like every big episode, which, I mean, every episode in the season might be a big episode, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just review the episode I really liked, which is pretty much every episode, honestly, so I don't really know. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure it won't be a weekly thing, though, so don't look forward to seeing episode review every single week. So, yeah, that'll do it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode if you watched it. It should be one hell of a season. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. So, once again, thank you guys for watching the video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.